All my awesome leaders out there. I am just going to film a really quick video because I explain this a lot and I wanted to have it documented so that I could just share it a little bit easier and maybe go through it a little bit better with a video. So one of the things that I love to do is to reward my team. It is something that is a passion of mine, and I know that it hopefully creates a healthy relationship with my downline and me. That they know how much I value them and appreciate them, and then their cheerleader. So yes, we can say that in many ways, but I also think we need to show that too. So what I'm going to map out to you though, you still have to stick to a budget. It is a lot of times recognition and reward is the visual part of doing it. So and taking the time to actually do it. The prizes that you attach to it are going to be dependent upon your team size and your budget. Remember to not overdo it, because then it sets a very difficult example for your leaders to be able to duplicate, and you need to be duplicatable. So I love to do year-end awards. It does recognize typically your very top hardworking demonstrators. I know you reward them all year long, but the year-end award is kind of like solidifies it. But what it also does is there are usually a few up and coming leaders too that have been working very hard. So they may not be crack into the top five, but they'll crack into maybe the top 15. And so it gives them a little bit of recognition too, that like, look how hard you've been working and you're in the top along with those really awesome people too. So I think it's important, even in like when Stampin' Up does their year-end numbers, I find my most excited training clients and team members I work with are ones that are even cracking into being number 90 or 80 or 70, because they've been working very hard, and it's just really cool to be with that group of people. So and of course the top ones are grateful and excited, but they've been working hard all along. So this is just a nice pat on the back. You've and that you truly do appreciate all of their hard work and you love working with them. So I like to create a top 15 that is very balanced. When I crunch the numbers every year, makes my heart so happy because I see balance being rewarded, and over maybe someone who just sells and doesn't recruit or work with a team. The person who actually does a little bit of each is going to beat the one, not beat, but it's going to rank higher than the one that maybe is doing all sales. The same when it comes to, maybe somebody who recruits a whole lot but doesn't work with them. They have no leadership skills, or they're not working with them at all. They are not going to rank as high as somebody who, recruits but then also has promotions and qualified recruits afterwards. They're going to rank higher. So I take my formula and I base it on a very simplified version of the Demonstrator of the Year formula that Stampin' Up uses. So I also believe that my numbers will also reflect what Stampin' Up is ranking as well. It's a very complicated, Stampin' Up's formula is very complicated. It used to be even more complicated because they took 9 categories and ranked them all, and they're weighted, so they're weighted all differently. So it's one that was very difficult for very many people to figure out if you didn't know the formula. So I only rank 3 categories, and we rank sales, and we rank recruiting, just recruiting, and then I rank what I would call leadership. And that is one where I combine their qualified recruits, and then I also combine their leadership qualifications. So that one is people who are actually working with their team, and that's a direct reflection of that. And so I have all 3 of those categories, but they're all ranked differently. Just like Stampin' Up ranks as well. So sales it's weighted times 3. So it's multiplied times 3 where they rank. Because sales is the heart of what we do. You're not even going to be able to recruit anybody if you're not selling, because you have to be in front of customers, and you have to have customers that are loving the product and falling in love with the product for them to be able to even be able to sell and recruit. So we have to sell before we can recruit, before we can be an influence on leadership. So sales truly is the heart of a sales-based business. And the other pieces fall into place typically with very good sales. Now again, some demonstrators choose not to share the starter kit. They choose not to grow a team, and that's okay. That is totally good. We all want everybody to do what's in their strengths. But that is weighted times 3. I'm going to tell you the weightings first, and then I'll tell you how I actually come up with the list, right? So sales is times 3. The one that's times 2 is leadership. It's the one where you will figure out how many, and figuring out's very easy. Stampin' Up! Has one report that has all the information, so it's pretty simple. But you are going to find out how many qualified recruits they had that year, and then there's another category that is how many leadership promotions they had that year. It's great, so I can see who's close to getting a bonus and seeing ones that maybe are at 4. I'm like, no, come on, you need one more to get to get $750. So it's nice to know where those things are at, and also it's nice to know for year-end numbers. So I actually combine those two numbers together. So I'll show you an example. This is my little sheet, and I've scratched out the numbers because after I record them, I scratch them out so that I don't record them twice. But I went through, and these were the top 20 people that I had up to that point. So I wrote all of their names down, and then I wrote down how many qualified recruits they had, and then how many leadership promotions they had, and then I added those two together, and that's the number that I got. What was so cool with that is I would see people who had really high recruiting numbers, but then they weren't even on this list. And so it's like, whoa, that's like a red flag to me. Or this is another red flag I see as a leader, is I'll see people who will have quite a few qualified recruits, like they'll have 5 or 6 or 7, and then they will have no other promotions. And like, wow, that's a red flag too. So I love doing this because it does give me a really good vision of what my leaders' results are. And then once I know the results, then I can go back to their behavior. But there are many on here that are beautifully balanced between qualified recruits and they're recruiting, qualified recruits, and leadership promotions. I see the perfect, and then I know their team meetings are working, their recognition is working, what they're doing is gelling and cohesiveness, and that is very rewarded in this system. Like my top 10 are the people who really reflected that in these numbers. So anyway, so then I come up with their combined number, and then that is what I rank. So I just rank them I rank 1 through 20 because I reward my top 15. So I'll explain that too at the end, but I rank 1 through 20 because there's going to be some that are in that 15 through 20 that might crack up a little bit higher. If they're consistently in the 15 through 20, even though they might have this, they're not earning the trip or this, they will have enough points to actually crack into the top 15. It's really cool. So that's how I get that number. I just wanted to show you. I know this is, and I'll probably do a screen share that will show you. I can't. I don't want to go against any privacy of my team, but I'll show you. I'll try to show you and talk about that Excel report where I pull all these numbers. So the next thing that I want to show you is, okay, so that's leadership. So that is weighted times 2. So I will rank them, and then they're going to get points. I'll talk about that in a second too. Then the third category is straight up recruiting. It's straight up recruits. And I just, go 1 through 20, you go to your Excel report, you sort, from the biggest to the smallest, and then you just write down 1 through 20 and their names. So those are the 3 categories: sales, leadership, and recruiting. Sales is weighted times 3, leadership is weighted times 2, and recruiting is weighted times 1. So that's the weighting scale. Now we have to go figure out who is what number, right? Like how do we rank the sales? You don't have to go through and like try to, here and here and here. We have a report. It's the Excel report for your team. And personally, I print this off probably 4, 5, 6 times a month. And then I always print it off at the very end, and I actually save it. So I can go back to that report. I know that's my month end. And this one I'll save as my year end numbers because I go back there quite a bit. But the Excel report is sortable, so you can sort it. And I just go to the year-end sales column, and then I sort that, the biggest to smallest. And then I just go over to the names, and I just write down the top 20 names right there. So this is my top 20 in sales. And so I number them 1 through 20. Now I weighted this times 3. So basically, they have to get points. So they get, number 1 is going to get 60 points. Because if it was weighted times 1, it would be 20 points. So let's start with recruiting because that's the easiest, and the other ones I think will fall from there. So recruiting was weighted times 1. So there's a column in your Excel report that's for year-to-date new team members is what it says. So again, I just sort by that, greatest to smallest, and then I write down those top 20 names. And then I will go through, and obviously I rank them 1 to 20. Now, you can start down here at the bottom. So start at the bottom. They get 1 point because it's weighted times 1. So these are points now. Okay, these are points that they're going to get. This is all, we're going to add points up at the end. So you just go ahead and give number 20 gets 1 point. Number 19 gets 2 points. Number 18 gets 3 points. Do you see? It just, everybody gets, they get 1 point where they're ranked. So basically now I can just go through and go 1 through 20. And so number 1 got 20 points for being number 1 recruiter. So next is our leadership that I showed you, right? So we had, I taught you already, or showed you already how to come up with your leadership. And so again, I ranked them 1 through 20, and I have them on my piece of paper. So 1 through 20, now this is weighted 2 times. So we're going to give them 2 points per where they ranked. So number 20 got 2 points. And then, number 19 got 4, 18 got 6, number 17 got 8, 16 got 10. So again, you're just going to, once I have that down, I'll just go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. I just count up by 2s. So that number 1 got 40 points. Number 2 got 38 points. So they're increments of 2. When there is a tie, because in these categories there will be ties, then it's broken up by sales. That is just, again, how Stampin' Up! Always did it. You have to have a tiebreaker, and sales is that tiebreaker. And again, if you start off sorting your Excel report by sales, and then you go and you sort these and you sort the other one, they will automatically break them up by sales. So anyway, that's how you get that. So this is weighted times 2. Now weighted times 3 is the exact same thing, where you sort your report, you find out who the top 20 sales people were, and then you number them 1 through 20. Now you start at the bottom. Number 20 gets 3 points because it's weighted times 3. And then we just count up by 3s. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. These are the points. So so now in sales, number 1 gets 60 points. So again, sales is weighted 3 times. So you have to do that with all 3 of your categories to figure out exactly how many points. So when I am doing this, just because I've been doing this for how many years, 15 years probably, be careful to not like have their sales numbers on here, their recruiting numbers on here. I do that on a different piece of paper because sometimes, like when you're trying to add up the points, you might accidentally add up their recruiting number or something like that. So this one I like just to have names and their points because you can make adding mistakes if you have too many other numbers in there. So it's very clear to be able to add them up, and so don't add any more numbers in there. I've done that where I've screwed the whole thing up because I was accidentally adding in, like instead of their points, I was adding in actually how many recruits they had. So you just got to be careful to just keep this as simple as possible. So I don't put down there what they actually did. That will be when I actually do the awards. I will announce their numbers, but not until then. All right, so now we're on to our very final sheet that will have like I have their name, and then I have their 3 points, and then I will list their ending point total down here. And this is how we rank them, is by their ending point total. So someone might be number 2 in sales, they might be number 10 in recruiting, and they might be number 7 in leadership. And so what it does is this system balances everything out for everyone. So then you just go through and you just add them up. So you add up what their points are. Okay, don't add up what rankings they are. Rankings don't matter anymore. Once you found their points, that is exactly how you're going to figure that out. And it's so cool how you see that come together. Like, yep, someone might sell more, but then they don't recruit at all. But somebody just might be like, they might sell a little bit less, but they recruit and train and lead, and that person will rank a little bit higher. So when you do the points, it really does reward a beautiful, balanced business where everybody is working together. So that is my system, how you actually come up with those numbers. Now, your prizes. I'm going to spend a couple minutes on here. I will tell you my prizes, but you don't have to copy them. It's just to me, it's a fun way that we do it because I don't give out huge prizes. They've gotten recognized all year long. Every month we train on team meetings, recognition, doing a grand sales award, doing promotions, incentives. So your budget is taken up a lot in those things. So personally, throughout the year, I'm pushing myself hard to earn green pie and to earn bonuses, and those are off of promotions and team growth and team sales. So I do save a portion of my my bonuses or my downline income to be able to do this. Now, again, it does not have to be super expensive. Again, you want to set duplicatable results when you give out. To be honest with you, you could give each person, mail them a certificate in the mail with a gold star and a package of rhinestones because they sparkle, and that's good. That's good. So you don't have to do big, huge prizes. As a matter of fact, my number 10 gets rhinestones. And my number 10, oh my gosh, she was, amazing. She sold over $24,000 and had a few recruits and a few promotions. And she gets a pack of rhinestones with a card that says congratulations. So again, this is about a visual celebration. You don't have to, come up with this huge amount of prizes. Some people do this live and some people do it online. And a combination of both. I definitely needs to be visual. No matter what you do, this is a waste of time if you don't make it a celebration. So typically when I do team meetings, I would do this at a team meeting and be able to give those prizes away visual in front of everybody. Our team meetings are recorded, so then that way people who are also watching through Facebook or through Zoom can also celebrate then too. And then I will post it again afterwards. Now, some people actually do awards nights with their teams and make this very special, and you can do that as well. I also used to do this always on stage, like we would do a team gathering on stage, and I would always make it a big celebration there too. So just make sure that you're making this very visual, and it is a celebration. but it doesn't mean you have to invest a ton of money into this. So personally, what I do is this fun little thing that builds, because again, it's not a lot, so it's fun. I start at number 15 through 11, get a certificate in the mail and a card that say congratulations. That's what they get. So I should say that 10 through, uh, uh, 11 through 15. At 10, I start to give prizes away. So those other four are getting, a pat on the back, they're getting their name announced, and they're getting a recognition in the mail. But it's a card, it's a certificate, it's, congratulations, you did so well this year. So at 10, I start to actually give away a prize, and she gets a package of rhinestones usually, or maybe some other, $6 sparkly items, some champagne rhinestones or pearls or something simple and flat. That's number 10. Then number 9 gets the same rhinestones, plus she'll get some sort of ribbon. Some sort of embellishment usually. So that's number 8. So 8 gets 2 things. Now number 7 will usually get the rhinestones, the ribbon, and a pack of 6x6 paper. So hopefully you can start to see a pattern, like we just keep building off. So then I'll say, number 6 is Susie, and Susie gets the rhinestones and the ribbon and the paper, and she gets a set of clear plates. Number 5 gets the rhinestones, the ribbon, the paper, the clear plates, and a wink of Stella. So like each item is, starting, it's usually between $5 and $10 to $12. And then once you get to like numbers 1, 2, and 3, they get, everybody just builds, everyone gets what they get something new, but they also get everything that everybody got below them. And then when I get to like number 3, then they're usually a little bit more substantial what 1, 2, and 3 get. So number 1 gets everything. She gets what everybody got. Number 2 gets, everything except for what number 1. Usually number 1, what I've done, that last year I got number 1, like all of the specialty papers, like all of the foils, the sparkle paper. This year there's a lot of that, so that might be expensive. Number 1, I've gotten a set of clear blocks before. They're very practical items that we need in our business, and so it's just a fun way that, yes, you could go and buy them like some present, and I do that for like my Silver Elite reception, but for this one, it's product. So I want to make sure that, again, I'm supporting my sales too. That supports my business. And then it also gives them like practical tools that they could actually use in their business. And these are pretty amazing leaders that got teams. So if they get it, then that allows them to be able to use those as giveaways if they want to, if they don't want to open it and use it. Let's see, like number 3 one year I gave an adhesive package, so they got like one of all the adhesives, and then that meant number 1, 2, and 3 all got that. So it's fun. It is just a kind of fun way to build it up, and you have to stick to a budget. So if you have to, I used to only do this with my top 5. It depends on how big your team is. But you want to make sure, then again, you're still ranking your top 10 so that your bottom ones at least get the pat on the back, the yes, you did good, atta girl, and then your top ones are getting the actual recognition. So to give you a vision, I have over 500 people on my team, 550. My top 10 are, I had 8 of my team members earn the trip to the cruise. So, these are some pretty amazing demonstrators that I'm working with. So, so just to give you an idea, that you don't need to give away huge amounts because your team, you should have been rewarding them all year long and recognizing them every month. And this is just to kind of accumulate it all together. So stick to your budget and make sure that you spend more time maybe making them beautiful tags or pretty certificates or a card. something that really is special that they could probably even post on a wall or take a picture of and share with their social media. One thing that I also do too for my top 10 is I create them a graphic, and then I put on the graphic, congratulations, you were number 5, and then I list some of their accomplishments, like either they earned the incentive trip or they promoted that year, or I'll list something that they have done, and then I post that on their personal page, so that everyone can see how awesome that they are, and that they are like really excelling at their business, and excelling at their hobby, and taking it to a jobby and doing a really good job of that. So this recognition, um, hopefully, is fun for you. Like today is October 4th, and it took everything in me to not do this on October 1st, because I was, had plans over the weekend. It was the first thing I did on Monday morning, because to me, it's so cool to see what everyone accomplished that year. And I mean, we worked together throughout the year, and I think the system that I mapped out to you is very fair. I feel like at the end, when all of the numbers shake out, I was like, yes, that to me, they are very fair with the effort put in, the work put in, the balanced put in, and I think that the system could obviously work for you too. So good luck, have fun with it. Recognizing your team is such a blessing, and when you really are passionate about it, then they will feel that from you, and they'll be so grateful for everything that you do. And again, it doesn't have to be anything huge, just something that you're taking the time, you're giving the recognition, and it's going to encourage them, and it will encourage everyone to think, I want to be in that top 15 next year, that top, I want to be there. So it's a really cool way for you to be able to recognize those that are. All right, good luck.